you attempted suicide twice.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. And God's been kind that I'm here today.
But modeling happened very weirdly. Acting ke dauran, I started getting some very good offers, like Sabyasachi came in, Lakme came in. Is that my very first campaign was Lakme?
The first 2001 party, and I told them, Rajeshkhanna is going to be standing at the gate with milk and he's going to be supporting me. So Rajeshkhanna, okay, like everybody looked like, and my father said, you're a liar. Why were you lying to me? And then he said, come, let's go to the party to support the son. So he came with all his friends and he saw Rajesh Khanna standing in the
Rajesh Khanna was actually standing
Amazing. So one girl who used to be the yoga instructor in a gym that I used to work out in, and she said, just start doing this, Eefa, just start doing it. I remember she put a towel around my feet and said, just pull, just start. And that's where I started. And about a year from that time, no crutches, no wheelchair. So for me, there was like no looking back.
I keep it very simple. I don't make it rocket science. And I tell people nutrition is not rocket science.
Right.
I have 4 meals a day.
When something bad happened to me, obviously we all get revengeful and angry. But eventually when I thought, what path do I want to take? Will I want to be empathetic or I want to be revengeful? When I realized that I can let go of the revenge part and then be empathetic towards the situation and I can understand why you're doing this, it helped me find myself.
Of certain optimal health, you need to have certain amount of muscles. You need to have certain amount of fat. For me, if I skip 1 meal or 2 meals, within 2 days I can see it's gone.
Welcome to Unstoppable, the beacon of resilience and triumph, fueled by the indomitable spirit of RiteBite Max Protein. I'm your host, Rohit Bose Roy, and today we embark on an extraordinary voyage alongside 3 exceptional individuals who embody the essence of unstoppable determination and boundless potential. First in our lineup is Shruthy Menon, an actress, a television host, a master of ceremonies, and of course, a model. From her versatile roles in shows like Shehar Lakhot and Typewriter to her dynamic presence on television and web series, Shruthy's journey is a testament to her unwavering passion and unparalleled talent. Next we have, what can I say about it? My younger brother, Suvedlohia, a renowned entrepreneur and restaurateur known for his successful ventures in the hospitality industry. Suved's journey to becoming a top figure in the restaurant business is truly inspiring. But for me, he's a fabulous writer. Don't believe me? Check out his Instagram post. And finally, it's my pleasure to welcome my very dear friend Eefa Shroff, a beacon of holistic wellness and inspiration for countless souls. As a renowned nutritionist and yoga guru, Eefa served as Anushka Sharma's yoga instructor, if I'm not wrong, during the pandemic, demonstrating her commitment to safe and individualized care. Today, we invite you to join us on this exhilarating odyssey as we unravel the tales of resilience, passion, and unwavering determination that define these remarkable individuals. So, fasten your seatbelts and prepare to be inspired, for this is Unstoppable with Rohit Roy, where dreams take flight and the human spirit knows no bounds. Welcome, guys!
Fantastic.
It is, I'm getting goosebumps to have 3 of you here, 3 very good friends, and in order of appearance. And you and you too. So let's start. Shruti, तुमसे शुरू करते हैं. हिंदी बोलोगे?
जो भी.
So, obviously I've known them for a very long time.
Correct.
I've known you for maybe a brief period of time.
Lesser than them.
Yeah, lesser than them. So let's give the audience a peek into how did you start? How did you think of becoming an actor? Yeah, बचपन में 16 साल की उम्र में I want to be an actor था, ऐसा कुछ था?
Oh, absolutely. When you have something, first of all, when you want to be an actor, it is, you have seen the actors, you've seen the actresses, the beautiful ones running around in sari, and every girl wants to be that doll dressed up. And so always I was enchanted and enamored by the acting world. And then when I grew up a little bit, I knew that this is hard work and you have to study it and you have to learn it. And my parents were kind enough. They said, "Okay, finish your education and get your masters, then you can do whatever."
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Bombay, born and brought up in Bombay.
Okay.
But my roots are in Kerala. I'm a Keralite.
Of course.
Shruthi Menon.
Correct.
अक्कल से
तो
शक्ल
पहले
से
से
सब
पता
कुछ
था
नाम
कि
से
मुझे
सब
actress
कुछ
बनना है।
I
मॉडल
knew.
बनना था या एक्ट्रेस बनना था?
मुझे एक्ट्रेस बनना था.
एक्ट्रेस
पर मॉडलिंग हैपेंड वेरी वियर्डली कि एक्टिंग के दौरान आई स्टार्टेड गेटिंग सम very good offers like Sabyasachi came in, Lakme came in.
nice.
Is that my very first campaign was Lakme? So I was like, I said,
Wow.
"Dear,
Well,
this
you
is
have a
happening."
face that can launch 1,000 ships.
Oh, you're very kind.
Well done. Welcome to the show, Suved.
Thank you very much.
Me and you. Yeah.
So, although I know so much about you, there's something that I want to tell the audience is that, do you know one of the most amazingly successful restaurateurs? Suved started as a gate manager at a nightclub. That was his
No
first
way,
job.
really?
That was his
That's
first
so
job, and today he owns those nightclubs
those
and restaurants,
restaurants.
and one more successful than the other. Suved, how did that journey begin? Why did you decide to get into hospitality? Was this always the game plan and the end game?
Not really. I come from a Marwari background.
Right.
My father and mom, though now they're very open-minded, okay, but they were very, very conservative back then.
Good.
And in Marwaris back then, you know, in how it was that, you know, you get them married off very easily. And my father said, okay, we have a manufacturing company. I started going with him, but I was like really clumsy, very unhealthy and things like that. And then he told me,
You were or they were too?
me. No, my parents they were always beautiful, they were always blessed, but they wanted me to, you know, like lead a particular life, but I had no passion. I didn't follow anything. And then they said, okay, then you have to get married and you've got to do this. So one fine day, my friends came to me and I was really fat and means I had no aim. Like I had nothing. I had no confidence, nothing. And then said, we're doing this event, okay, and can you help us sell some passes? So I remember I started going to just around the corner and started speaking to people. Hey, you know, I'm doing this event and why don't you come by and, you know, start, you know. And then I just got a sense of belonging, but there was no money involved that time. I just did it for the heck of it, you know. And so my friends who, we have a different company now, but they're very, very, very close friends of mine and a good name to reckon in the hospitality industry, Sunny, Sarah, Ritik.
Correct. So they were friends with us back then too?
Back then too, and we started a company together called Orion, and that's how we started a journey. And so I managed to, in 2 days, sell about 1,500 to 2,000 passes.
Well, you've always been a people's person.
So I wasn't, to be honest. I'm very shy. I'm actually very shy to be honest. But this happened, and then my father and mother, when I got the money back home, they thought, "Are you selling drugs?"
What do you want drugs back then?
Yeah, no. So when I one day come back home and I see all my cupboards out and they're asking, "What are you doing? Where are you getting this money from?" You know, at the age of 18, I said I'm doing events, and they didn't realize. Then I did one party which was the first 2001 party, and I told them, Rajeshkhanna is going to be standing at the gate with me and he's going to be supporting me. The Rajeshkhanna, okay, like everybody looked like me and my father said, "You're a liar. Why were you lying to me?" And then he said, "Come, let's go to the party to support the son." So he came with all his friends and he saw Rajeshkhanna standing in the
Rajeshkhanna was actually standing there.
Yes,
How come?
Because
the Rajeshkhanna,
the actor Rajeshkhanna, the legend Rajeshkhanna, he happened to be my closest friend's father's associate, and he said we were young kids and we didn't know anything about entertainment tax. We didn't know about anything, and obviously he was a sitting MLA that time. So he said, "I am here to support these kids."
That's incredible.
And I'm not lying to you. He was standing as a gatekeeper with me by the opening of at Taj Lanzan and welcoming everybody.
Then it was not such a great story. I thought you were a gatekeeper.
I was.
Rajeshkhanna ke saath gatekeeping.
That is way later. That's why he did this to support us.
Wow, man.
So he did this to support. I was a gatekeeper, fire nice and things like that. And then
I didn't take names because I didn't know.
Yeah, so that's okay. So and that's how it happened, and we got the confidence, and that party became a massive hit.
Right. So you guys originally started this whole party.
Yes, we started with these events, and then I didn't know, it just became a calling, and then I just realized.
So you didn't know you wanted to get into restaurants or hospitality?
No, it just happened by chance, and then I also am a Hanuman Bhakt and I believe service is, the highest for my energy. Today, I know my purpose is that I want more, so I can give back more.
Wow.
That's my true purpose of life.
This is why you're so not together, Radha, because your journey has been fantastic, and I truly believe it's quite inspiring, because I have seen you as a little boy come into my sets when I was shooting with Sanjay Dutt.
Yeah.
And I was sitting here, roly-poly guy who's hair and, you know, he was a big
And
Sanjay
still,
Dutt
it was
fan.
yesterday.
It was his birthday yesterday,
It was
yes.
his birthday yesterday. I am still a big Sanjay Dutt fan.
Same here.
When Master came out, I used to have a hair this way. I used to wear patani and I used to carry a gun and I used to say, I don't know if I should say this on the show. My father used to shout at me. I used to open the door and say, my father used to say, come back in, what are you doing? You know, like, exactly like the movie. So I was that inspired by him. But who is not who? He's the main alpha person and everybody is inspired by him.
Eefa. You know, what do I say? I'm so happy to see you. It's been ages. I've known you now for almost 3 decades, I think.
Yeah.
You know, since the time I met you. And I know for a fact about your leanings and about where you started off from. But I'm going to leave it to you. I was also a big devout follower of the same Bhagwan that I used to follow. Yes, Osho. And that's how I met her, by the way, in Pune. And today you're everything to do with wellness and holistic wellness and all of that and great nutrition and all that. You have your place called House of Shroff in Kandala.
Lonavala, yeah.
How did the journey begin? Because our audiences probably don't know how you started. How did you move from that to this?
Yeah, I started off being a harami. That was my official name.
Is it going to be
My mom and dad were so sick and tired of me, and back in 1996, during those days, I had a really bad crash on my little scooter.
Right.
And part of my face was taken off. My leg was really badly injured.
This was in Pune?
This was in Pune, 96.
Okay.
And that was reconstructive surgery, sorted that out. But the leg took like a year, and then they said I'll be in a wheelchair probably by the time I'm 30, and it was horrible. And there was this one girl who used to be the yoga instructor in a gym that I used to work out in. And she said, just start doing this, Eefa, just start doing it. And I remember she put a towel around my feet and said, just pull, just start. And that's where I started. And about a year from that time, no crutches, no wheelchair. So for me, there was like no looking back. Of course, I was absolutely desperate. If you gave me boxing at that time, I would have taken it up to get back on my feet. But yeah, that was the first seed of wellness, so to speak. Yeah.
What about Bhagwan?
Osho is always like, he's been a mentor to me. Like I said, through those days, if there was anybody who could straighten me out, I think it was him, even just hearing him. Things my parents always tried to teach me and failed both guys desperately. He just had a way of, molding young minds that was so attractive and so fun and so free. And I think that was, he's a huge influence in my life even today. Was
it tough to get out of the ashram and like come to Mumbai?
It was very difficult, very, very difficult just because of the culture shock. I was modeling in those days, and this is where all the work was. I had a boyfriend who was in Bombay who was like, come to Bombay, come to Bombay. So yeah, Bombay happened.
How did you move into becoming a yoga guru and nutritionist and all of that?
I'm not a yoga guru, I'm a yoga student.
Yoga student?
Yeah, I'm a yoga student. I always will be a student of yoga. Okay. And I remember between running for auditions, a lot of friends used to say, hey, can you teach me this thing that you're doing? And I think that's when it first started.
Super. Great, outstanding. Shruthi, back to you. So, we also, we don't really talk about working out or this or that. We also talk about nutrition. We talk about all the things that go into wellness. Now you're as hot as you look. You're hot and fit all the time. I shot with her for a campaign for Carrera sunglasses. Yeah. And I asked her which profile. She said,
doesn't matter.
Because the camera loves her. Absolutely. Did you have any challenges, in terms of fitness and health?
I did. But whenever I speak about this challenge, I get a lot of negative remarks saying, oh, please, is not a challenge. I have struggled with weight issues, but I've always been thin. I've been very thin. Hear me out.
Yeah, we will.
To be of certain optimal health, you need to have certain amount of muscles. You need to have certain amount of fat. For me, if I skip one meal or 2 meals, within 2 days, I can see it's gone.
Really?
And it affects my health. It affects my hormones. Girls will know it. You know it. After a certain age, everything starts going all right. So you need to be at optimal. If I don't eat, sometimes when I'm hungry, if I'm shooting, if I happen to skip a meal, it will have an adverse effect on me. in
So
a
your
couple of
problem
days.
is the reverse of what most people go through.
Yeah. So I need to be I need to be making sure that I eat enough fat, I eat enough carbs. I know I'm lucky and I'm blessed in that manner, but I cannot afford to skip a meal.
Yeah, touch wood.
I can't do that. It just my menstrual health, my hair, my skin, it will start
affects everything.
showing, it starts affecting everything. So I need to be eating, which is a good problem to have. But when you're in school, when you're growing up and you're already at an awkward age, and then you have people calling you names like scarecrow, and you should be standing like with your hands out in the field. It affects a young growing mind, and then you're constantly trying to figure out, okay, again, like you were saying, trying to fit in when we were talking back there, doing everything, whatever it takes, trying to fit in, trying to be, the cool girl. Oh, it doesn't bother me.
But it does bother you. It does. I think even today, if somebody says, I'm very sensitive, so even today, if somebody says something about me or to me, it bothers me.
Actors are the most vulnerable, the most sensitive people.
No, a lot of people
Nothing you
are
say.
very thick-skinned in our industry. We know for a fact that they're very thick-skinned. They don't care what you say about them.
No, I
But
get
I
very
would get
affected.
affected if tomorrow, if I was to say something
Yeah.
about me or to me, I'd get
Of
affected
course.
even today.
Of course. So
So
as
but
adults,
all
we
that
know
thought
how to-
about
Yeah.
getting bullied in school, because I'm going to get back to it. We have a segment where we talk about mental health, especially today. Nowadays, people have started talking about it.
It is very necessary.
Yeah.
It's
And so, on the other hand, you had the reverse problem. All your growing up years, your teenage years, even your adult years, you always had a weight problem.
I still do somehow.
Yes.
In my head, because once you're a fat kid, you're always a fat kid. And I realized this. In fact, I never wanted to be an actor. The question that you asked me, I never wanted to be, but I somehow got close to, as I said, because I was a big Sanjaydutt fan.
Right.
And I was invited for this premiere or trial, the plan, which was
Right, of course.
which was
With that idea.
yeah, it was in it. And Gattu was there, and then Gattu came in, Abhishek Kapoor, who is one of my mentors, and I love him. And he said, "Would you do a movie?" I said, "I don't know nothing about acting." He says, "Just come." And he says, "Who's your favorite actor?" I said, "Sanjaydutt." He says, "Okay, you just come." So if you see the movie Aryan, my head.
Aryan,
Yeah.
right.
Wait, you're in a movie?
Yeah, I was. I mean, I used to.
I had no idea.
So I asked if you harbor any thoughts.
So if you see the movie Aryan, I had long hair and I was really fat. And then I became very close to the Khan family, which were Bhai Salman Bhai. They, literally adopted me, and they were
Right.
very, very kind to me.
Yes, I've seen
Yes.
Yeah, and then there was some movie happening called Jai Ho, and we all were shooting in Goa, and Salman Bhai was, and I realized, I'm not exaggerating, I couldn't walk 500 meters. When I was walking 500 meters, my whole calf used to get cramped. And
you were that overweight.
I was that overweight. I was about 160 kgs or something.
Wow.
155, 160
How many years back?
This is a while now, about 10, 12 years. And then I put on weight and got weight back, and I did, what do you call it, like liposuction?
Liposuction.
Yeah,
Liposuction.
I did liposuction, but it was of no use. It was I was so desperate to lose everything. I did steroids, I did everything possible under the sun to lose weight, but I couldn't do it.
You could be.
And
Did you get into the root of the problem as to why?
yes, it's childhood.
Thyroid.
It's so it came from my mother. My mother, everybody who knows about my mother, they're all a big fan of my mother. She's really overweight. Okay, and I was called the F&B manager at my house at a very young age. I had this relationship with food for a very long time.
Right.
And I became an emotional eater just like my mother.
Wow.
So when I got into therapy, I did constellation therapy, and I realized my defense, there was two problems that I had. One was my anger, which was a defense mechanism. I used to get, because I was so bullied in school and college, I had man boobs, I was fat, I couldn't walk. So I was always, and then the second part was to fit in, right? To fit in, I did everything possible under the sun, because I wanted to be wanted, so I did, so we do this, I would do that. So we do this, I do that. And this happened. And then I realized there's no shortcut to this.
Yeah.
So the thing that I realized, and I know, and I vouch, and I advise, forget about, I work out to feel good, not look good anymore. That is, I don't care if I'm overweight or what I am. I just want to go to the gym and work out every day.
And you do it very well.
My day doesn't start.
Kickboxing and workout.
Yeah, my day doesn't start before that. And I really advise that discipline, focus, and consistency should be what you're looking at, and not whether I have lost weight or whether I have not.
So your weight doesn't bother you today?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't? That's fantastic.
It doesn't bother me. I could never take my shirt off. I could never ever do that. And now I don't know if sometimes I have abs, sometimes I don't have abs. I have some overweight issues. I have some extra skin because I was so fat that when I lost the weight, I had to undergo surgery to take my skin out. So I have marks. But it doesn't.
I don't bother you.
It doesn't bother me at all.
Also, I think it comes from a place of success. When you succeed in life, in your profession, in your private life, in your personal life, it kind of reflects, what you become.
Rohit, to be honest, I stopped chasing success. I really think that I'm more blessed than more successful that I am. I want to put my honest effort in what I'm doing. Success will come to you. In that movie, this one movie which I saw about, and I really also preach, that is 3 Idiots. Do what you do best. Success is going to come to you, And if you know me over the years, bhai, I haven't changed.
I know it all.
I will not change.
We got scolded by you also.
Yeah, it's not.
What is called?
I did.
That's a story for all.
That's
It was one of those days when...
It was something that I got, and I apologize because he's always been so protective about me. But sometimes you get blinded by certain things. He's been very protective, and I profusely apologize to him. That was one slip. Yeah.
Anyway, so now I'm happy that you're in a stage wherein these things, these outside aesthetics don't matter, and you're focusing on inner aesthetics.
I've shut the noise.
For me, is very, very important. Eefa, I know you're not a yoga guru and you're a yoga student, but I've heard that during the pandemic or around that time, you were actually training Anushka Sharma during her pregnancy.
During her pregnancy, yeah.
So how does that happen? I mean, I get very scared with even now when I do all those things. I've just taken up yoga, and I
Good.
my life has changed. I get up in the morning, I have no muscular pains, no issues, nothing, and I still have a really bad back. And believe it or not, 1 month of yoga sorted it out.
Oh yeah.
Kerala again. So how do you do something like that when she was pregnant and you were taking care of her? Do you tailor that yoga routine according to her?
Of course.
Can you tell me a little bit about it? How does that work?
So it would, first you'd look at, I've worked with Anushka before, so I was very familiar with her joints and her issues.
Okay.
So things were tailored from that, and of course the pregnancy, and I was constantly working with her doctor in tandem, who was telling me what's right, what's not right. And she started picking up confidence. She's a really brave girl. She's fantastic. And she started picking up confidence, and towards her last month, she was in headstand. But of course, all of this...
Last month of pregnancy, she was doing a headstand.
She was in headstand, yeah.
Amazing.
So she's just fantastic to work with. But of course, the bravery from my part also came because Virat was always there with her. So he was supporting her. I would just tell him what adjustments, and he would do that.
Were you scared when you were training her when she was pregnant? Have you done that before? Have you trained a pregnant lady?
A pregnant lady, yeah, but not online, not over a computer screen. That's the scary
Because,
part.
that
Makes
can
a
be a challenge.
difference.
I still
That's
haven't
a
got used to
scary
this
part.
online thing. I
Yeah.
get very thrown.
I haven't. I don't enjoy it.
I'm old
Same
school.
here.
For me, it has
For
to
me,
be
that's
person.
just
person,
person.
yeah.
But it was COVID, right?
Yes, I
so
know,
what
yeah.
could we do? We were working with her in person before that, and then
So you
COVID
had to
happened.
tailor it
So
according to her.
everything was tailored on a
So
daily
you had to
basis.
study that differently from what you studied?
Maybe more in depth.
More in depth.
More in depth.
So that nothing
but
happens to her
Of
and
course.
the baby.
Of course, yeah.
Challenge.
So
Not just nothing happens. In fact, you want good things to happen.
Good things to happen. But if you say that she was doing a headstand, and
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You did this.
my God, I can't even
fantastic.
think about it. Yeah, but that's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's always been a very resilient girl.
She's brilliant.
At
So
least whatever I
so
kind of
good
seen
nature.
her off and on, she's very resilient and she's always very correctly spoken and all that.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to come back to both of you. We have a segment where it's a very sensitive segment. I'm going to throw it to you. It's up to you how much you want to share. She spoke about being bullied in school, Suved. I know that you went through a lot of that and you reached the stage of no return.
Yeah.
And it's up to you if you want to share it
for
with
sure,
us
I
and
can.
the audiences. I'd love for you to share so that the people, especially the kids who are watching you, they know what not to do and how not to do.
Rohit bhai, I'll tell you something. Mental depression is something you don't know when it comes and how it comes to you. Okay. One of the reasons was obesity. Okay. And being so emotional, I don't have any boundary. And because I wanted to be accepted, I always gave. When I gave before, I gave from a a selfish place. Yeah, because I wanted to be accepted. Okay. And people, I think, so somehow saw that and took advantage of it. Okay. Today, when I give, I really don't care whether you love me back or you give me something in return or I don't return. This made me in a very dark space because I realized that every relationship that I had was transactional. You know, and I became it, and I was.
How old were you at that time?
23, 24. 324, and my parents don't know about it, but it's okay. You know, like I've never shared anything with my parents. You know,
Yeah, it becomes difficult. You don't
because
stress them out.
my mom and dad are they're so simple and they're so loving, and till date they'll stand on top of my head and for you know, they call me Munna. I'm at 42. You know, like they say, what do you want? I said, Mama, I'm 42. Yeah, relax now. You know,
You can never grow up.
Yes, you can never grow up. So
I'll tell you a story later about Munna, which is a very interesting story.
So at couple of times I reached a stage where I also did attempt, you know, not to come back into my life because I just couldn't fathom. I didn't have any purpose. You know, and I realized that what am I doing? Why am I this? Because I love people and my very core is kindness and love today. You know, as I said, and you know, Hanumanji has blessed me today that I can help people and give back more. So that's why I said that you will feel you're isolated.
But what happened? What is that incident that happened which you told me?
Means, as I said, there was nothing going right. Every relationship used me. Every relation I would give and I would see, they would just say, okay, I used to do a lot of substances back then, so they probably would get in touch with me because they want substances, or they want to get entry into my nightclub, or they wanted a free party.
So they wanted something.
They wanted something from me, and I was like, oh no, they're sweet to me, you know. And I go, they like me, you know.
No, then why did you reach the stage where you wanted to?
I don't know that till date. It's just that I was not happy.
And how did you stop it, or did someone else stop?
No, I didn't stop it. I did attempt it. Okay.
You attempted it?
Yes, I did twice, and that's why I have 2 phoenixes in my hand. That which, you know, phoenix means rising back from the ashes. So I've risen back from the ashes, but I was a chronic.
So one second, I want to ask you this: you attempted suicide twice?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did, and God's been kind that I'm here today. You know, and I regret doing that. I definitely regret that, and I'm saying what's my way out. And today I'm very glad that I am resilient. I have the power to face that. And you know, sometimes when you're that emotional and vulnerable, as you know, that you know you have guided me in so many cases. You have picked up the phone and told me, Suvain. And that's the reason I write. When you tell me I write, I waste 100 pages, you know, to write one paragraph. But most of these paragraphs are to give out messages to people that please, you know, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. And you know, I've read Sadhguru, I've gone to, you know, Shri Ravi Shankar, followed Osho, but the light is always within you. All these mentors, all these teachers will speak to you about certain things, but it's all your self-belief. So once you shut the noise and you start believing in yourself that you can achieve this thing, I've lost 65 kgs, and it means I still struggle to lose weight, but that's a different thing. But as I said, get up and work out. But any kind of workout, half an hour, 45 minutes, it will make you feel happy. You don't need to, means if you're, and the reason I work out, I was telling them before, is not to be validated, okay? Because when you're physically fit, you're mentally fit, and then you have your boundaries. Today, boundaries are very essential to keep you sane from what people are there. And also I started realizing I recently saw this whole series called Blacklist, you know what I mean, Legend.
Of course, yeah. Okay. I've seen it twice.
You know, something I loved and learned from there, that whatever the situation, he was always calm. He was so calm.
So I was seeing one of those podcasts with Robert De Niro and Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
And you were saying that
everything passed. Yeah.
This too
stress
shall pass.
Even pass. It pass. You stress today.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's such a, you know, he's achieved everything there is to achieve.
No, yeah, I've seen that one with Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, he said this too shall pass.
Everything.
Yes. Eefa, you've obviously been into holistic wellness for a long time. A lot of people, like, she got bullied in school. believe it or not, I got bullied in school.
For looking good. For looking good.
I was almost 90 kilos when I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I got bullied back and forth, and my name, my second name makes me sound something which Gujaratis use in a bad word. Now, do the math. And I used to be called that when I was 15. And ye jadiya, ye jadiya, ye kar, wo kar. I was fortunate enough, what people say it is an unfortunate thing, I got a triple bout of typhoid. And I went from 90 to 60.
Jesus.
But I'm going to cut you off. One of my inspirations, and I'm not lying, is you and your brother, the fitness. And
Really? Amazing.
It's
The fitness
amazing.
level is...
There are days when at time I don't want to work out and I just say, look at these guys, they are going and killing me. I'm not calling you old, don't think I'm No, but thank you for being a motivator. Thank you.
Always.
Thank you.
So, that's why I always say, don't think as negative things happening to you in life. Don't look at them negatively. Anybody would have said, oh gosh, he's got typhoid, he's ill, this, that. But that double bout, and then after 6 months again, I got a bout. And I lost so much of weight, but I started eating healthy after that. I turned around and I saw myself in the mirror, and I was never good looking. I was like round, podgy, like that. But I could see, and this happened to me just before I went into junior college, sir. And then I kind of found confidence, and I could actually talk. I was very shy. I wouldn't talk to anybody. I'd lock my door of my bedroom when my father's friends visited with little daughters. I couldn't talk to them.
Wow.
After that, so I think, everything is an opportunity in life.
You try to see the silver lining in everything, and I promise you, I see the good even in the baddest things.
Absolutely. Same, which is the reason why I always say that you're like me. My younger brother, Eefa, coming back to wellness, she's been bullied, I've been bullied. He poor guy has gone through a lot more maybe than us.
absolutely.
How do you handle it? The people watching you are probably from the age group of 16 to maybe 40. What advice would you give them in terms of how to handle this kind of stress and not reach that point where you want to take a drastic step?
I think know yourself. That's always the best in whatever that sense. That could mean exploring art, that could mean journaling or writing a book. But knowing yourself is so important, because once you kind of have that, and that's something I really got through my early years in the Osho commune, was that it just made me so reliant on knowing who I was that the outside noise really didn't matter as much, to the point of, I've sadly ashamed to say also attempted stuff that you've talked about. Those were during my dark days when I thought I was not going to walk again. And, all your party friends don't even show up after the first week when you're bedridden. And everything. And of course, I was using a lot of substances and multiple substance abuse. So that, and being home for the first time, not being able to walk, being bedridden, nobody coming to see you, it was depressing to the core. And there were times when I've, taken a whole bunch of everything, painkillers, antibiotics, everything. And I just you just want to shut the lights and not to wake up to the morning. But it's knowing yourself that gives you that spark, that little ray of light, that hope that tomorrow is going to be different. Tomorrow is a new day, and there's going to be something fantastic waiting there for me. And like you guys just said, that principle which now I've learned and realized, I didn't back then, but I call it advantage. Anything happens in the back of my mind, if something really pisses me off, I feel something's out of control, things aren't going my way, I've made it a habit to say now, advantage. And then I'll try to come up with the first thing that my brain can show me, even if I'll pretend through it, even if I don't see an advantage. And I think that really works for me. But knowing yourself, I think knowing yourself is so important. Just writing about what you're feeling and your perspective in life, even if that's negative, just writing it down sometimes shows us.
But you've completely with it, because that's something that even I've struggled with, not knowing who I am. And I want to take this opportunity, if you can just shed some more light. How do you find yourself? Now I know that.
I can understand.
Journaling,
How do you find yourself?
How do you find yourself?
The simplest
I
thing
mean, I
that
still don't know who I am.
Even
Really. I'm still struggling to find
still
myself.
trying to figure out who am I as a person. How do you guys have found yourselves?
I think that journey always continues. We're always trying to find ourselves, but it just means where we are in that journey. Are you across that safe line where the worst things can happen, where you lose a loved one and you still dust yourself off, take your opportunities, take your responsibilities, and get your act together and move on, because there's so many other people dependent on you. But just for me, what really works is the first simplest thing I did was take a piece of paper and I wrote down everything I really wanted. It was like a list of some 150 goals from everything small. And once I started looking at that piece of paper, I was like, wow, that's who I am. Like, those are the things I want.
See this.
That's the direction I want my life to take. What the hell am I doing in a dark corner when what I would really love to...
Dark corner.
Definitely.
Writing down, which is-
Definitely.
Something over here, and that's how I found myself, right? When something bad happened to me, obviously we all get revengeful and angry, but eventually when I thought, what path do I want to take? Will I want to be empathetic or I want to be revengeful? When I realized that I can let go of the revenge part and then be empathic towards the situation, and I can understand why you're doing this, it helped me find myself. And today is my religion.
Reflecting my thoughts while you're talking.
And today my religion is kindness. Okay, I just find what it is, and I want to be kind. Whatever the situation is, I don't want to retaliate. I want to remove myself from the energy. We all are energies.
Yeah.
And that's how I found myself, that we are energy. If I don't resonate with you, I don't want to make an effort, okay? But I understand you might have had a fight at home, or you might have
Correct.
with a,
Empathy
having
is
a bad
one
day
of the
or
main
something.
things which is missing.
But if you have empathy today, you will know what it is. And if you're respiteful, then you have to work a lot on yourself. You need, because that respite is within you, the vulnerability is within you, which you're throwing out to people. So yeah, so my message to people would be kind and be calm, and you will find
You
yourself.
use the word kind and kindness a lot on this episode. And
Yeah.
fantastic. I have always said in my talks that the one thing really missing in today's world is empathy.
Is empathy.
It's easier said than done, but it's such a simple thing to do and have.
I post this on my
It's
Instagram
so-
stories all the time. The simplest thing you can
it's to
do
be
is be
empathetic to each other.
kind.
Yeah.
It's
I think
so
most of the
easy.
problems that the world has
Have a tattoo, it says
is
be
because
kind.
empathy.
It's
Yeah.
just the
Sudesh, you
easiest.
spoke about pretending. Sometimes you actually pretend. Does it ever happen to you, since we're talking about mental health and, given our grueling schedules, that you've woken up one day feeling like shit, and yet you had to attend maybe an event or a shoot and smile your way through?
Of course, it happens all the time. It's not something that is gotten over in our industry. You face more rejection than you face acceptance. So being...
Do you feel depressed ever?
Of course, I've been through depression. I've been clinically, I have been on medication. I still am on certain amount of medication. Of course, I'm waning. I'm waxing, waning. What do you call it? Waning it out. But it takes a toll on you. There have been times when I wanted something so bad and I miss out on certain reasons. It's just so sad, the reasons that we are given, that we don't get a particular job. Because a lot of us, and my age, the age we've been, we tie our self-esteem to our job. And we do it.
Which are sense.
And when you're
That's
not
so true.
accepted, there have been
I don't think
times
she's
when I
like that.
have...
Are you? I think
I've never even thought about it.
There have been times when I haven't been able to get off the bed.
I
I'll be like
think about
2
it a
days in
lot.
bed, I can't move. It's not that mentally it's resolved, but your body remembers. Your body remembers everything, and your nervous system is jammed. You need to get it out.
How do you get it out?
Yoga is one way that has helped me out. I've been an ardent...
I knew today's episode is going to be extremely informative and inspiring, but this has actually gone beyond what I had expected. And thank you for actually opening your hearts, because these are topics not very easily spoken
And it's
about.
so important that
But it's
people know
important
about
to
this.
talk
But
Going
I
people
would
know about
congratulate
this.
everybody over here, but being emotionally vulnerable and opening and being courageous about it would definitely help people to, understand where we are coming from, and that there's always a silver lining.
Yep.
Exactly, and all three of
Thank you very much.
amazingly
All
people
of
and
you.
amazingly successful at what you do.
It's hard. It's
It's
hard.
it's tough, but you see, the thing is, the objective of this podcast is to tell people that you will have struggle here. What is life without struggle? There is no life.
Yeah, and the greater the struggle, the bigger the reward.
The
greater the success.
Yeah, and I think you actors also need to understand that the kind of adulation, adoration, and level of success that you all receive is absolutely paramount compared to the level of rejection, because I mean 10 small rejections means nothing compared to that one big success.
That's the way to look at it.
And so every time you're getting a rejection, great, you know, this is my 10th one done, big success coming up.
Yeah, the law of averages, eventually you will get it.
Okay, let's move away from the heaviness.
Yeah.
I'll ask you a very pertinent question. This is a personal question from me to you.
Sure.
As you know, I want to look 18 till I die.
You look 18.
Yeah,
You look better than 18.
Thank you. But what are those holistic things that I should incorporate in my life?
Wait, you should be giving us.
Yeah, I should be there. I want to eat what you're eating.
Yeah, please, like, I don't know.
मेरा पूरा question का हाथ है. So what are the holistic things that one should adopt or adapt to in terms of fitness, in terms of nutrition, etc., etc.?
All comes back to everything our grandmother said. Eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables. Eat your fruits. I think one topic that people are now becoming aware of in the last probably 2 decades back, suddenly there was this craze with protein, and people took it to the opposite extent of having too much protein. And what they were doing was cutting back on fruits and vegetables and good fiber, and then carbs got a really bad name. And I think now with the new movements happening, people are slowly starting to... So not to kind of be focused on fads, be focused on facts.
Is keto diet a fad or not?
I have been on it.
I've been on it.
I've been on it and lost weight on it. But I think so eventually it's not good. For me, the advice that I'll give you is simple ghar ka khana.
Absolutely.
I won't ask you that question because I have no problem.
You know, simple ghar ka khana every day and keep yourself out of processed food.
The one thing that I want to add here, because obviously since I started doing this podcast, I've done too much research on nutrition. Like you said, it's very simple. But your plate should be a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Keep it. So now the one thing I've realized is that people who are around 18, 20, they cut their calorie so much.
Especially their carbohydrates, especially their fats.
If I know 20, start eating 1,400-1,500 and thinking that they're going to lose weight.
900.
There's no food.
I know people who do 900 and these are young girls. And this is why, you know, Rohit, like 10 years back,
It's ridiculous.
there was probably 1 out of 25 women who would come to me and say that one of the problems was PCOS, PCOD. Today, every young girl, every single young person who calls me up, 16, 17, 18-year-old girls, PCOD. And this is because they've cut back too much on fat. Hormones are made out of fats and proteins. If you're going to cut back your fats, especially your good fats, so much, how's the body going to make the hormones? Like if you're not giving it the brick, how's it supposed to build the house?
I start my mornings with a big giant spoon of fat.
Ghee.
Or a cold pressed coconut oil. It is just the best.
So
You can
before
see the
I
difference.
end up this thing, I want to tell you one thing. And I insist that you do it. You travel so much. Please with me, come once for Ayurveda.
I'm done. You tell me, I'll be there for sure.
Confirm this because your life will change. For the last 4 years I've been doing it. I say nahi dikhta hu main, sir. And that's when I discovered yoga.
I
And I used to shy away, how I am in the gym, working out and all that. And I reached the stage where every part of my body, obviously I was doing stunts in my films, breaking something or the other, and then I was trying to build muscle, to look good. And then I discovered yoga.
Makes you flexible. It makes you
Seriously. Okay, now for a fun segment before we sign off.
All right.
This is called the Ask Rohit segment.
Okay.
You can ask me about any question that comes to your mind about fitness, health, life, wellness, anything. We'll start with you.
How many pairs of sunglasses do you have?
I would add to that.
We know so much about you. We know about, we've been watching you on television, we're watching you on movies. We know about your health. We follow you on Instagram. But we don't know about your sunglasses.
So I must be having close to about 110.
So that's
Wow.
there's a passion that both
We
of us
both of us
share.
are mad about shoes.
You're like shoes also.
Yeah.
no?
I love your shoes.
Yeah,
so
you have
I'm
nice
literally his younger brother because
Yeah.
shoes and sunglasses are half of the time. Bhai, where you got these glasses from?
Same. The
I'm-
moment he posts a picture,
Yeah.
"Hey, कहाँ से लाया?"
Yeah. So it's
अच्छा, on that note, you said आपका order क्या है? वो किधर है?
Bhai, I have not been able to.
He
do
has
this.
ordered my
But-
juta for the last 6 months. It's
No,
coming
not
only.
6 months.
It must be
about-
stuck in custom.
More than that.
It's not been 6 months. That size has not been available because over there. That's
Excuses.
No, that is. I know I have to get it to you, and I've always delivered that
So
one
there are three
particular
of
shoe.
us, three very dear friends, me, him, and Manish Paul.
Yeah.
We are all crazy about shoes,
Yeah.
and me and him sunglasses. So,
I invested in a store.
The thing I told you when I got angry at him and I scolded him.
Yeah.
What did he send me to appease me?
Yeah, sunglasses.
Okay, so to answer your question about 100 odd pairs.
That's
Wow,
a
that's
mad
insane.
number. That's
Crazy
insane.
number. Don't ask me how many pairs of shoes I have. Moving on to you. What's the question that you want to ask?
I don't have a question, but I would like to thank you because you have corrected me in so many ways, and you have been, you've been my support system, and you've always sent me, encouraging messages. So I don't want to ask you something because I know mostly everything about you, and I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart to be, sometimes that little nudge when you are down and out, and getting a message from a stalwart like you helps you go a real long way. And especially in my fitness journey, and then when you send me about my writings, that and also calling me over here,
All
and
heartfelt, bro. All heartfelt. But nobody has been on these couches that
it's
I
so-
don't believe can make a difference.
And so it's really, I can't ask you anything because I will always be learning from you. So I would just want to say thank you, and thank you for always looking
You're
after
most
me.
welcome. You're
Yeah,
most
that's what I would say.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Eefa.
What do you eat in a day?
Okay. So, but seriously, I have.
Seriously.
I keep it very simple. I don't make it rocket science, and I tell people nutrition is not rocket science.
Right.
I have 4 meals a day. My morning meal is a very simple oats with either low-fat milk or curd, because I like curd. I somehow have not, I'm just not enjoying milk. Although I have nothing against milk, people give up milk even though they are not lactose intolerant.
Yes, true.
So I have oats, either oats chilla or overnight oats with curd, some fruits and nuts. At about 11:30, I'll have a black coffee with khakra. I have lunch, which is chicken, rice, vegetables. That's it. And a little bit of achar. People diss achar because there is oil in it, but it's a great gut reliever.
Them.
It's got great
I
qualities
didn't know
of
that.
yeah,
I didn't
it's,
know this.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fermented, right?
Yeah, it's fermented.
It's
Anything
fermented. It's
even
fermented.
abroad, when you
Yeah.
eat garlic there in
Kimchi.
Paris, garlic,
Yeah.
it's fermented. It helps your gut flora. And I have a protein shake in the evening. Depends what time I'm working out, so it kind of changes. And my dinner is exactly as what I've had in lunch.
And it's all Indian?
Exactly.
No.
All Indian. Unless I'm traveling like I was traveling in America, then obviously I make changes. But I make sure that there's enough vegetables and fruits in my diet.
Right.
Whether it's a salad
That's what
or
shows.
stew or anything.
Yeah.
So that's my diet.
Interesting.
But I
Thank
keep it
you.
simple.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, before I let you guys go, firstly, thank you all for this amazing episode. It's been insightful for me as well.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Pleasure.
you
It's
so
been a
much
pleasure.
for
And
having
I
me.
met both of these
I
guys
know,
after
so
long.
cool.
Very long.
Before we go, everybody hits a roadblock. You guys have been very honest and said that. What is that mantra that you have in life? Any time in life that keeps you going? That one mantra.
I think I already said it, advantage.
Advantage. See the advantage.
See the advantage. That advantage could be a spiritual advantage, it could be an emotional one, it could be a physical, financial.
That keeps you
But
going.
try to do that and play it by intuition.
For me, is Hanuman Chalisa and consistency.
Aslan Charis and places.
Yeah, because I think so. He has given me everything. I'm more blessed than more smart than I'm, and being disciplined, focus, and consistency. But I would rather use consistency because it covers up everything. It covers
So
up.
let me tell you something. Morning and evening. Morning when I wake up in the night before I sleep. Hanuman Chalisa. It's always.
Yeah.
You keep going mantra.
My biggest struggle with myself has been to believe in myself. I used to always, whenever a situation presented itself, I said, no, you can do it. You can, even if I couldn't, even if I didn't know how to, just blind, delusional belief has gotten me through so much that you can do this.
So you believe
And-
now that you can do.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, it's been the biggest struggle, not weight issues, bullying, nothing. Just getting out of that thing and being like, you are
That's the biggest struggle
something.
that we
It's the
face, for
biggest
sure.
struggle, and I'm glad I overcame it.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Brother.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you
And you
very
guys,
much.
I'm sure you've heard and been inspired today on this amazing episode of Unstoppable. These stories of resilience, determination, and holistic well-being will continue coming. Please keep watching Unstoppable with Rohit Roy, powered by RiteBite Max Protein. I'll see you next time. Take care. Stay healthy.